I've biked over 250 miles across Washington, facing everything from brutal weather to unexpected challenges. But today is different. It's the final stretch, my last chance to reach the Idaho border. Will I make it? As I look at the hawk flying overhead and the crisp air, I can smell snow. Winter's around the corner. I began the trail saying goodbye to my husband in the warm car. It's nearly 10 a.m. and it's getting lighter later now and getting darker earlier. I enter a gate with a big emergency closure sign on it. It's no longer closed, but the sign is still in place, not removed yet. I can see the traces of a fire that swept through the area at some undetermined point in time. I feel lucky to be able to bike this section. I work my bike over the uneven gravel and make it to the bridge that I saw on the approach in the car to the trailhead this morning. It's a beautiful expanse that greets me, egging me on forward despite the chill hanging in the air. As I pedal along, I pass old train stops, abandoned homes, and rustic barns. The trail winds by trestles that now have no tracks on them, holding onto invisible ghost track that one time was used to smooth out the up and down gullies that I'm traversing. I reach a dead end in the trail. The trestle bridge is out and not rebuilt. I bike to the lookout to see where the trail begins at the other side and mistake a farmer's plow marks on the field as access to continue. But the road, aptly named Pandora, has a lot of trickery in store, and after a brief hike into the hinterlands with my bike, I rejoin the trail and find where I should have gotten back on. The view was commanding. I continued to pedal, coming to another road crossing. As I made it past the gate, a bridge came into view. Now my app said that the bridge was closed, but back at the intersection I hadn't seen any closure signs on the gates. I did see the alternate route steeply descending and snaking off to the left. And I'll be honest, I couldn't see myself biking back up a steep traverse without at least seeing what condition the bridge was in. I was tired, and my legs ached from the previous journey. I tested the bridge with my weight stomping and jumping, and it didn't move. It actually seemed fairly solid. I opted to walk my bike across. Shh, don't tell anyone. Shortly after, I arrived at a spot where the trail again intersected with road and was able to set up my camp. I'm not certain this was a dedicated trail spot, but it was off trail at a road, so I just kind of nestled up along its side. No cars came by that night or the next morning as I shook the ice off of my tent and packed up and pedaled towards Tekoa. My husband was bringing me some breakfast and a hot coffee, and I was very excited, so I was pedaling pretty fast. It turns out he wasn't able to break away to meet me due to a work obligation, and as I crossed the highest trestle along the trail, I could see the town stretched out before me. As I got to the site of the Tekoa station, I could have headed off into town. I'm up on the trestle, the Tekoa trestle, but I had so little of the trail left to go. While coffee and breakfast sounded real good, I won't lie, finishing sounded even better. I grabbed my last granola bar and took a swig of water and determined that they would tide me over as I settled into an easy rhythm for the next 10 miles or so. The winds began to pick up, and I was both relieved and sad that my journey was coming to an end. I began to recall my adventures on this trail. The wildlife, which included bear, multiple snakes, coyotes, deer, the terrain changing from temperate rainforest to desert plains. The rivers, lakes, and multiple tunnels, the changing weather patterns, rainstorms, heat waves, the adversities in an inaccurate mapping app, a flat tire, flipping over my handlebars, biking in the dark, getting bit by a dog, a shotgun being leveled at me, hopping on and off trail multiple times. My first night of camping alone, meeting both wonderful people and those who would have me question my safety. Losing 2 pairs of sunglasses and a Croc sandal, and now, finally, I'm on my way to the Washington-Idaho border. rode across the state. It's surreal that I did this, and I'm so thankful that you've come along with me for the ride. The Palouse to Cascades was one of the toughest and most rewarding adventures of my life. Reaching the Idaho state line marks the end of this chapter, but it's just the beginning of something even bigger. This trip has provided me a much-needed confidence boost in my abilities, which is great because I'm about to tackle one of the 3 longest trails in the continental United States, the Pacific Crest Trail, on foot. And while it's a different kind of journey, the challenges, beauty, and sense of adventure are the same. So if you're ready to join me on this next wild ride, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and don't miss out my 2,650-mile long Pacific Crest Trail series. It's going to be an adventure that you won't want to miss, and it begins next week. So until then, happy trails. Man, am I looking forward to breakfast and my coffee. Bye-bye.